Captain Marcus Webb had survived 3 galactic wars, countless pirate raids, and a diplomatic incident that nearly started an interstellar conflict. Nothing, however, had prepared him for the pale creature standing between him and the airlock. Of his own ship, she was tall, nearly 7 feet, with skin like polished marble, and eyes that seemed to drink in light rather than reflect it. Her features were hauntingly beautiful, in a way that made his human brain struggle to process what he was seeing. Most unsettling were the elongated canines that gleamed when she spoke, and the way she moved with predatory grace that suggested centuries of hunting. "You cannot leave," she said, her voice carrying harmonics that seemed to resonate in his bones. "Not yet." Marcus kept his hand steady on his plasma pistol, though he doubted it would do much good. The Valdari were known throughout the galaxy for their resilience, their speed, and their unfortunate resemblance to the vampires of human folklore. This particular Valdari had boarded his cargo vessel 3 hours ago, claiming sanctuary under the Galactic Refugee Accords. "Look, I've followed protocol," Marcus said, backing toward the bridge controls. "I've logged your request, transmitted it to the nearest Coalition station. They'll send a proper escort ship within 48 hours. Until then, you can stay in the passenger quarters, but I'm not changing course." The woman moved closer, and Marcus noticed she cast no reflection in the polished metal surfaces around them. Another disturbing similarity to ancient human legends. "You do not understand," she said. "I am not merely seeking sanctuary. I am protecting you." "Protecting me?" Marcus laughed, though it came out more nervous than he intended. "Lady, no offense, but you're the one who looks like she stepped out of a horror vid. What exactly am I being protected from?" She tilted her head, studying him with those unnerving dark eyes. "My name is Kira. I am the last of the Valdari High Guard, sworn protector of the Eternal Archives. 3 days ago, my homeworld was destroyed by the Devourers." Marcus felt his blood chill. The Devourers were whispered about in the darkest corners of spacer bars, creatures from the void between galaxies that consumed entire civilizations. Most people dismissed them as myth. "The Devourers aren't real," he said, but his voice lacked conviction. Kara's expression grew sad. "I wish that were true. They consumed my world in less than an hour, but not before I could escape with something precious." She reached into her dark robes and withdrew a crystalline device that pulsed with inner light. "This contains the collective knowledge of 1,000 worlds accumulated over millions of years. It is the only remaining copy." Marcus stared at the device. "Why didn't you take it to the Coalition directly?" "Because the Devourers can track it," Kira said. "They are drawn to knowledge, to consciousness itself. The stronger the mind, the brighter it burns to them. That is why they destroyed my people. First we were the Guardians, the keepers of wisdom." She moved the view screen and activated the long-range sensors. "They have been following me for 3 days, staying just beyond detection range, but they are patient hunters." Marcus joined her at the console, his tactical training overriding his fear. "Show me." The sensor display revealed nothing at first, but as Kira adjusted the parameters, something began to emerge from the background radiation. It was massive, easily the size of a small moon, and its surface seemed to absorb all electromagnetic radiation. "Sweet, merciful stars," Marcus whispered. "Now you understand," Kira said. "I cannot allow you to leave because you would carry their attention with you. They would follow and eventually find populated worlds. But here, in the emptiness between systems, we can make our stand." Marcus turned to face her. "Our stand? I'm just a cargo hauler. I've got a pulse rifle and some mining charges. Not exactly military-grade equipment." Kira's smile revealed those predatory fangs. "You underestimate yourself, Captain Webb. Humans have something my people lost long ago, ability to innovate under pressure. The Valdari became too dependent on our ancient knowledge, too set in our ways. But humans adapt, improvise, overcome. She gestured to his ship around them. This vessel has been modified beyond manufacturer specifications. You have weapons that should not fit on a cargo hauler, shields that run on jury-rigged power systems, and navigation computers that can calculate jumps other ships cannot make. You are exactly what we need. Marcus felt a surge of pride despite the circumstances. He had spent 15 years tweaking and upgrading the old freighter, turning her into something unique. Okay, so what's the plan? Kira's eyes gleamed. The Devourers feed on psychic energy, but they are vulnerable to certain quantum frequencies. The archives contain the specifications for a weapon that can generate those frequencies, but it requires components that exist on your ship. She moved to his engineering station with fluid grace. Your modified shield generators, if reconfigured, could create a quantum resonance cascade. Combined with the knowledge in the archives, we could create a weapon capable of destroying their ship. Marcus studied the schematics that appeared on his screen. This is insane. One shot at something the size of a small moon? David and Goliath, Kira said, and Marcus was surprised she knew the human reference. Sometimes the smallest stones cause the greatest avalanches. Over the next 6 hours, they worked together to modify his ship's systems. Kira's ancient knowledge combined with Marcus's practical engineering skills created something neither could have achieved alone. She shared stories of the Valdari homeworld, of crystalline cities that sang in the solar wind, while Marcus told her about Earth's blue skies and the coffee that grew in Ethiopian highlands. When the Devourer ship finally emerged from hyperspace, Marcus felt strangely calm. His little freighter hung in space like a minnow before a whale, but the quantum resonance weapon was ready. Remember, Kira said, her pale hand covering his on the firing control. Aim for the central mass. The archives show a weak point where their feeding organs converge. Marcus squeezed the trigger. The being that emerged from his ship was unlike anything in known physics. A spiral of light that seemed to tear holes in space itself. It struck the Devourer ship and penetrated deep into its core. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the massive vessel began to collapse inward, its dark surface cracking like an eggshell. Light poured from the fractures, growing brighter until Marcus had to shield his eyes. When the brilliance faded, the Devourer ship was gone, leaving only scattered debris and the echo of something vast screaming across the psychic spectrum. Kira smiled, her fangs catching the starlight. Now you may leave, Captain Webb. The galaxy is safe, thanks to human ingenuity and Valdari wisdom working as one. Marcus looked at her with new respect. What will you do now? Find others who can help rebuild, she said, and perhaps learn more about this remarkable species called humanity. As they set course for the nearest coalition station, Marcus realized he had been wrong about who was protecting whom.